Malcolm in the Middle. It ran from 2000 to 2006, had 7 seasons, and is now preparing itself for a reboot. Instead of doing a full retrospective on all 151 episodes or trying to comprise the best moments into a top 10 list, I figured we'd take a look at the shows within the show.
What? What are you talking about?
What I mean is the first culprit in why this show has never received an official DVD release, or at least here in the US. Overseas, contracts and copyright laws may differ, but if you're a fan of Malcolm in the Middle and a defender of physical media, then best hunt down the region-free DVD player, because outside of Season 1, the show has never released on any home video in North America, and the simple answer is music. Sum 41, LIT, Stroke 9, and They Might Be Giants, who wrote the theme song, are just some of the bands whose music remains unclearable, and with each passing year, the likelihood of this ever happening grows smaller as the values of the songs grow higher. Even if the studio was to swap out the music with something royalty-free, there is still the issue with the music video during the opening credits. Some shots were taken from the show itself, where others are what led me to make this series of videos. So tag along and join me as we take a trip through each movie, TV show, cartoon, or sporting event in the Malcolm in the Middle theme song. Our first stop, innocently enough, is 3 men fighting against a giant turtle, and a few images later we are greeted to a woman being fed to a baby pterodactyl, presumably by its mother.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Shut up! Just shut up, you idiot!
These 2 shots were taken from the same source, the 1966 Hammer horror film 1 Million Years BC, directed by Don Chevy. The studio Hammer was already on a roll with reviving the Frankenstein monster, Mummy, and Dracula, but with this effort they decided to go after remaking a lesser-known piece. For a picture that takes its liberties, one thing it does stick historically to is the entire cast has dialogue kept to a minimum, and instead favors with humanistic grunts and actions to communicate. The effects are the real stars of the show, as they were done by stop-motion pioneer Ray Harryhausen, whose works also include Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, Jason and the Argonauts, Earth vs. the Flying Saucers, and Clash of the Titans, but more on that one later. As far as the actors are concerned, the one whose image comes most to mind is that of the late Raquel Welch, who went from being synonymous with mediocrity instead of high art, thanks to being popularized in the now outdated book The Golden Turkey Awards by Harry and Michael Medved. It was a book celebrating the worst of cinema and giving out awards in different categories predating the Razzies by only 1 year. Not only did Raquel Welch receive the nomination and win for Worst Actress, it also is the place that first popularized Plan 9 from Outer Space being the worst movie ever made.
Really? Worst film you ever saw? Well, my next one will be better. Hello?
Welch's likeness would have a resurgence though in 1994 as she became synonymous with her most iconic film despite only appearing on a poster. That is of course the adaptation of Stephen King's Shawshank Redemption, the poster of her being hung up over the hole in the wall that would serve as the gateway to Andy Dufresne's escape, helped leaving a lasting impression in the annals of film history for decades to come, and the 2 shots featured in the intro of Malcolm in the Middle make for a nice bonus.